Hello YouTube, Eric here again. I'm going to do another video for you here today. This is a video I wanted to do 2 weeks ago when I was, I don't know, at least 2 weeks ago I was showing this page. And let's see if I zoom in here. I'll try to put a link down below. I'm going to show you this, but this is U.S. National Library of Medicine, and this is the National Institutes of Health, NIH page, right? Let's see if I get you. Yeah, I got Anomaly going live right there. I just muted him. But, okay. So here is the, how to find the page if you like. Again, U.S. National Library of Medicine, National Institute of Health. So this is an NIH page, right? Now look at the title of this. Informed consent disclosure to vaccine trial subjects of risk of COVID-19 vaccines worsening clinical disease. Uh-oh. Okay. So I'm hoping you read this for yourself. I'm just gonna read the abstract and the conclusion here, okay? And if this piques your interest, I'm gonna try to have a link below, and if for some reason like the link doesn't work, there you go. Screenshot that. Okay. All right. Excuse me if I'm talking funny. I gotta chew in, and I just had a couple of drinks. Started drinking early today. Okay. Abstract. Aims of the study. Patient comprehension is critical part of the meeting of medical ethics standards of informed consent to study designs. The aim of the study was to determine if sufficient literature exists to require clinicians to disclose the specific risk that COVID-19 vaccines could worsen disease upon exposure or challenge to circulating virus. What we've been talking about on the forum ever since these vaccines, the mRNA vaccines, were first announced, long before they were out, okay? Like Dr. Malone, MD, I believe he's the creator, holds the patent, I believe, for mRNA vaccines. He was talking about how all the studies that they've ever done on mRNA vaccines, all the animals always died at a later date because it messed their immune system up so bad that they couldn't handle other illnesses, right? Like it handled the actual illness pretty well, but when they were exposed to other illnesses, okay? All right. So that's antibody-dependent enhancement if you've been asleep the last couple years and you haven't. If you've been following Dr. Fauci, 5'3" Anthony Fauci, you probably don't know anything about this. And it's all over the internet. You can see all kinds of medical doctors and osteopaths have been speaking about it. Chiropractors, okay? Like this is something to be aware of, okay? Look into, man, what was it? Is it Merck or one of the companies that did the chicken vaccines back in the day? That's one to look up too. But anyway, and remember, these COVID vaccines, they skipped the animal trials. Like you are the test subject, okay? Me, I'm in the control group, okay? Science is real, and the scientific method always involves a control group, okay? So me, I am the control group, okay? I'm very anti-vaccine. The only person I've ever known that's more anti-vaccine than me was a friend of mine that 15 years ago, he was so anti-vaccine, him and his wife did a home birth right on Milwaukee Street, right here in Madison. Okay? And yeah, I hung out with them probably at least 12 weeks during that pregnancy. And I was over there to visit just a matter of days after the child was born. Okay? If that was 15 years ago, that's the only man I've ever met that's stronger anti-vaxxer than myself. I was going to skip right to the conclusion, but here we go. Results of the study. COVID-19 vaccines designed to elicit neutralizing antibodies may sensitize vaccine recipients to more severe disease than if they were not vaccinated. I'm telling you, check this page out. Oh, they do mention ADE, antibody-dependent enhancement. This risk is sufficiently obscured in clinical trial protocols and consent forms. Yeah, they didn't tell you about this, did they? Like you had to climb down some rabbit holes, right? Right? Like you have to be deemed a little bit crazy to know this stuff, right? Well, health is wealth, okay? I've been saying that for a long time. I do not measure wealth in U.S. dollars, Federal Reserve debt notes, okay? Many measures of wealth. Health is wealth is number one, as is family, friends, freedom, time. There's so many measures of wealth besides Federal Reserve debt notes, okay? Which eventually people probably be wiping their ass with these U.S. dollars eventually, you know. Never underestimate the ability of them kicking the can down the road, though. Remember, I thought like financial collapse was going to happen long before 2010 even, okay? And for the record, the real collapse actually did happen in the weeks after September 11th, 2001. And it's really strange that I've only met a few people, I've only talked to a few people since then that can like come out and admit that they know that's real. But that's for another day. Maybe we'll have that discussion another day. All right, we're gonna skip down here to the conclusion, right? Because if this piques your interest, I'm gonna have the link there. You guys can go read this whole thing for yourself. Given the strong evidence that ADE, that's antibody-dependent enhancement, is a non-theoretical and compelling risk. Non-theoretical, meaning they have evidence that supports this shit is real. Remember, they have not done long-term studies on this, so it may not be. They may not have any antibody-dependent enhancement on these. They don't know. There's just a lot of evidence with prior mRNA vaccines where this was a risk, and all the animals that they treated got very, very ill at a later stage when they were exposed to other viruses, okay? That's all I'm saying here. I'm not saying that that's not what they're saying. Given the strong evidence that ADE is a non-theoretical and compelling risk for COVID-19 vaccines and the laundry list nature of informed consents, disclosure of the specific risk of worsened COVID-19 disease. Specific risk of worsened COVID-19 disease from vaccination calls for a specific, separate, informed consent form and demonstration of patient comprehension in order to meet medical ethics standards. The informed consent process for ongoing COVID-19 vaccine trials does not appear to meet this standard. Again, the informed consent process for ongoing COVID-19 vaccine trials, and we are still in the trial. And for the record, when they just announced on Monday that the Pfizer is fully approved, do your homework on that. The new one that's named like comorbidity or some shit like that. It's kind of funny. It almost sounds like comorbidity, but whatever that new one is, right? That one was approved, and guess what? They haven't even manufactured or bottled that one yet, but they're trying to spin it as like the Pfizer one that's still on the market is approved. It's not. That's still emergency use authorized, and there still is no, there's no liability. They have the full liability waiver on the one that they're jabbing people with right now, okay? They play a lot of dirty tricks. It's marketing. All right. Okay, so that's it. I got you there. Again, scroll right to the top. PMC, U.S. National Library of Medicine, National Institute of Health. That's the NIH. And remember, if memory serves me right, I think Anthony Fauci's wife runs the NIH. I could be wrong. It was something I read a few months ago, but Why are they not talking about this stuff, huh? Okay, I hope this message finds you well. There are a lot of things for people that have had bad reactions to the vaccine. There are a lot of things that are supposed to help out with that. I don't know, what I'm allowed to talk about. I probably stepped in it with this video. YouTube will probably at a minimum take this video down, maybe ban me off the internet. Who knows? It's not known by many, but the Dr. Pierre Corey was testifying in front of the United States Congress. He's a doctor right here in town at University of Wisconsin-Madison, right? And it was kind of interesting to watch. The media here was putting Ron Johnson on blast for like how he got banned off the internet and everybody's cheering and having, all the media was covering that. But they covered it just how Ron Johnson is spreading misinformation. Ron Johnson simply posted YouTube videos of a medical doctor from the University of Wisconsin-Madison testifying about ivermectin in front of Congress. Ron Johnson was just posting videos of a medical doctor testifying in front of Congress. And the news media, to get you to not look any further, every title is Ron Johnson spreading misinformation, got banned off of YouTube. Ron Johnson's a senator, and all he did was post videos of a medical doctor testifying in front of Congress, okay? But you sheep never looked into that, did you? Because you just read the headline, right? Life's too fast to actually read the whole, life's moving way too fast to read the whole thing or know any more about that. Okay, I hope this finds you well. Any questions about health? Man, I dove in so long ago. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to have a little story. Last doctor I saw was 2013. I completely dropped out of healthcare. I haven't seen any doctors since then. That was an osteopath. And guess what? She changed her whole life after seeing the results of what my lifestyle changes, right? She changed her diet and everything to match what I was doing because she wanted the results of what I was doing. And when I told her I was dropping out of healthcare, she said, I agree, Eric. You can treat yourself better than any doctor can. She went on to say, like, I'm welcome. If I ever have any questions, I'm welcome to come back. They're going to keep my records around for like 3 or 5 years or whatever amount of time that there is their deal that they keep records around. She told me I could come back. But I haven't. It's been over 8 years now. 8 years. And that was an osteopath that changed her life. She even one time when she was telling me, did I tell you about how like I changed my life to match your stuff? She's telling me. And then she told me that she slipped up and she ate a couple hors d'oeuvres at a holiday party. And she was telling me how she felt like crap. And then I said to her, I asked her, did you notice any like changes in your breathing? And she pauses for a minute and she's thinking, and then she says, you know what, I never thought about it, but it was like sleeting that night. It's like wet sleety snow. And she's like, I stopped at a Walgreens on the way home. I had my kid in the back seat. I had to get him out the car seat, so I'm getting sleeted on. And she's like, I pick him up out the car seat. And she's like, I briskly walked to the door. Not quite running, but briskly walked to the door. And as I'm crossing the threshold to the Walgreens, she's like, I notice I'm out of breath and it makes no sense. And then she asks me, she says, Eric, how do you know this? And I just say to her, effortlessly say to her, I live it. This is my life. Okay? This is my life. Health is wealth, and I'm stacking. Okay? Don't know how much I can pass along here on YouTube or the internet these days because they banning people that know. And I'd like to add Michael Moore, that obese slob, leftist Michael Moore. Just 2 years ago, he came out. Remember, he's one of the green tards. It's all about how we need to save the planet. He came out and he said the whole green movement isn't going to work. It's worthless. He says the only way to save the planet is to reduce population. Reduce population. Michael Moore, fucking disgusting, obese slob, man. Looks like Jabba the Hutt. He wants to reduce population. And they jabbing people with needles. They're going to try to force it on people. Boom. Hope this finds you well. Have a good day.